Godley, and we are the Q, KRLQ 94.1. In the other frame, you're looking, do I call you the director or curator? Or the
Cool.
chief cook and bottle washer
Yeah, that'll work.
for the Union Museum of History and Art, Gene Jones. So we're going to be talking about, well, the museum itself, but a special presentation. They're in the information gathering stage and phase. We're playing Jerry Lee Lewis right now because he's real country. That's a double dip, if you will. Jerry Lee Lewis right here on your home for real country. We are KRLQ. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning and opting in. We just fired up all of the social media Facebook streams, and our guest this morning, going to call it kind of like a Museum Monday, and it is the Union Museum of History and Art. We haven't figured out, you didn't give me a card, Gene Jones, so I don't know if you're the curator, you're the director, or the facilitator. Who are you?
Oh, I'll take all of those, I guess. Yeah, we'll just. How about a coordinator?
There you
Does that
go.
sound great?
There you
Okay.
go. That's fine by me. All right, so let me, first of all, talk about the museum because I love the novelty of what you're trying to put together regarding Jerry Lee Lewis. Let's not get that specific yet. Talk about the Union Museum, its mission and focus.
Sure. We've been in existence since 2014, located in Farmerville on Main Street, of course, in Farmerville. And we're here to discover and showcase our history and our culture and our art and our interesting people from right in this region in north central Louisiana.
A Union Parish specifically, because I just happen to have a similar position with the Lincoln Parish Museum, and I'm happy to help in any way I can for the Lincoln Union connection and the Lincoln Claiborne connection. We have a rich history, and Gene, you know as well as I that we're in this day and age right now where it's called the information age, and a lot of the information gets dropped off because we're not handing it down generation to generation of local history, correct?
Oh, absolutely. We find that all the time. Sure do.
All right, so what motivated you to do this?
The museum?
Yes,
The
yes,
museum
yeah, you got to
itself?
have a heart for it.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, the Union Parish Chamber of Commerce kicked that off. We started looking at that back around 2013.
Okay.
Moved into a big new building, had a lot of space, said, what are we going to do with all of this space? And we talked about some ideas and said, how about a museum to really showcase our region? And everybody said, that's a great idea, let's do it. And so we did.
So here we are 10 years down the road, and let's touch on next month briefly, and then we'll get right into Jerry Lee specific. We've come this far by faith, the African American churches in Union Parish. That's for February, right?
It is, all during the month of February. We sure are.
All right.
Yeah.
So I get this innocuous email. Rick, I want to talk to you about a special event that we're planning here at the Union Museum of History and Art. It is Jerry Lee Lewis Remembrance Day. It'll either be March 11th or March 18th. Do you know of somebody who could talk about Jerry Lee's career, music style, and the impact on popular music in America? Also, we're trying to gather people who went to school with Jerry Lee at Linville. Was that a high school or just Linville School?
It was school. I believe it was grades 1 through 12
One-
at the time.
okay.
At the time. Yeah.
So in 1952, because Jerry, I did not know that. So that's the beauty of that. So, all right, talk about Jerry Lee Lewis Remembrance Day that you're planning, because it's still
right.
in the planning stages.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we found out a few years ago that Jerry Lee, well, I did, and a few others. Way back in the day, in the early 50s, Linville School was a very active school over in the eastern part of Union Parish, and turns out that young Jerry Lee was stomping and rocking, playing the piano in the gym at the time, and the kids at Linville were crazy about him, especially the girls.
You got a picture here too, and then I'll post that up later. Linville School, 1951-52. Boy, he's got those Lake Darbone flood pants on. It's cuffed and pretty high.
He was a long, tall drink of water, wasn't he?
Sure enough, and look at him there. He's surrounded by five 5 girls at the time. All right, so what you're looking for, I'm gleaning, is to find out anybody who went to school with Jerry Lee in Linville, correct?
Correct.
So what do they need to do once, like, oh yeah, my mother did, or somebody's listening and like, yeah, my father did or my uncle did, what do they do?
Yeah. Call us up or send us an email. Email is unionmuseum@gmail. Phone number, you can find our website and our Facebook page, but phone number is, of course, 318-982-8020. And give us a call.
I'm smiling. I mean, where'd you get these pictures? Obviously, the yearbook that Jerry Lee was the vice president of the 8th grade class, right?
That's right, yeah. And it turns out he was 16 at the time, a little bit old for 8th grade, but that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's perfect for him.
Yeah.
But so he was even playing the piano back then?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He started quite young, absolutely.
Have y'all reached out to the Jerry Lee Lewis Museum in Faraday?
We have.
Okay,
yes,
and
absolutely.
what's been the response on that?
We're still reaching out.
Sure.
We're still talking to people. We've even invited Jerry Lee's widow, Judith, to see if she would like to come down for this event. Haven't heard back yet.
We're from Nesbit, Mississippi? Or?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you mentioned that Dorothy Barton, first wife of Jerry Lee, went to Linville.
That's right. That's where they met.
Any response so far from somebody saying, yeah, I have somebody? Did you get anybody yet?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
We're getting in touch with lots and lots of people who knew him, knew a whole lot about him, even some family members of the first wife we've been in touch with. So
awesome.
It's interesting.
All right, our guest here this morning, Gene Jones, the director of the Union Museum and Art. They have a website, which is?
Union Museum of History and Art. .org.
.org to find out all and to support the museum, as well as a Facebook page. And if you know anything about Jerry Lee, get in touch with Gene. The date's not set in stone yet, March 11th, March 18th. That's okay. You're also kind of working on having a concert?
We want to have
music?
A jam session. So we're inviting local musicians. We've even talked to a fellow lives over in Haynesville who played with Jerry Lee in the early 60s.
Really?
Yeah, and he has stories to tell, and he said that he would come over and play. Also, Jerry Lee's cousin, who is a pastor, Reverend Gerald Lewis, lives over in the Schwartz area, said that he would come and play. Now, he doesn't play rock and roll, he plays gospel, but mighty well, very, very well.
Yeah, there's a rock in there. He can play some upbeat rock. You know how that rolls, don't you?
Upbeat gospel.
All right,
yeah.
we want a piece of this pie. I'm talking about Q94.1 because we play real country, and Jerry Lee has that unique distinction of being a country music artist, a superstar. We also have XM 102.3, which plays Jerry Lee Lewis because it's solid gold, soul, and a little flavor of Louisiana. So you got 2 radio stations in this, and we're going to help you out. We're going to have you back as well. For those watching this in the future, this happens to be January 9th. So reach out and get in touch with Gene Jones to make this day, and then friend up on Facebook for the Union Museum, and also bookmark the website for when this gets nailed in stone. What else can we possibly say to make this day Jerry Lee Lewis Remembrance Day incredible?
Well, we're also talking with the powers that be in Union Parish and see if we can't proclaim this day for Union Parish as Jerry Lee Lewis Remembrance Day.
Awesome.
Yep.
And if they don't do it, I will make that proclamation
All right.
for you.
Go for it, Rick. Yeah.
Anything else, Gene? I mean, this is awesome. I love being part of this.
This is exciting. And I'm not sure, but is Jerry Lee the only guy that was ever inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Country Music Hall of Fame?
I'm going to tell you 2 people that would know that one right off the bat.
Okay.
One is Tom Aswell.
Yeah.
Did you ever get in touch with him?
Not yet.
And the other one's Mike Stone. Now, Mike Stone, the former sheriff of Lincoln Parish, he's now in training to be a DJ on XM 102.3. A friend of Tom Aswell, who wrote the seminal book that I just love. It is Louisiana Rocks, the True Genesis of Rock and Roll. And he makes a solid case that it all came out of Louisiana because of our culture, because of the soul, the jazz, the zydeco, the rockabilly, the rock. I mean, Louisiana is where it's at. So those 2 would know. Well, I know who else will know. Call us up, 255-7941. If you is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I would say yes. And is he in the country? He's got to be, right?
Oh yeah, he about a month before
Who
he
else
passed
who else
away.
would that be? Who else could that be? Who else cares? We're looking for Jerry Lee Lewis. Anything else there, Gene?
Oh, we're just excited to have people who are interested in Jerry Lee, his career, his interesting, very colorful life, to come that day and join the fun and just talk about what an iconic figure he was.
You ever see him live?
Did not.
Seen him twice.
Oh,
One time was on the Riverboat President. Man, that was a night I think I remember. Gene, thanks for all that you do. You're welcome back here anytime. Let's set another date to keep the audience up to date and up to speed on what's. This is just I love it how a plan comes together.
great, good, thanks.
There it is, Gene Jones, the Union Parish Museum and Art, Jerry Lee Lewis Remembrance Day, as we continue the killer here on the Q. We are Real Country, Q 94.1.